And good morning, everybody. Welcome, Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Happy Friday, my friend.
How are you, dude? You ready for the weekend?
I am ready for the weekend, ready for the game tonight.
Yes.
Have an event tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then have the game on Sunday. So it's a workful weekend. How are you?
Yeah. It's I'm looking forward to it in much the same fashion. Very curious about what CU will have to offer tonight against an opponent that hasn't played anyone, but has been very good in the way that they haven't played anyone, if you follow my drift. And it's on the road, and they're in the middle of a quarterback conundrum, apparently, right?
Yep.
So that will be interesting. And then obviously the Broncos, as we will get into here in some detail, have plenty of levels of interest and curiosity as well. So very much looking forward to the weekend.
To the best of my knowledge, as of right now, as of 9 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, Deion Sanders has not named his starting quarterback yet, has he?
Not that I've heard.
Well, he has essentially without actually saying the words.
Well, Pete Thamel has told us
right
who is starting, and that was like Tuesday. So
well,
I might have been able to tell you that last Saturday. But okay, I mean, we needed an official source. The only thing officially we've heard is that Deion hasn't made his mind up.
Well, he kind of has, because when you have your weekly coaches show and one of the quarterbacks happens to be a guest on Channel 4's show with Romy, and it's Ryan Staub, I think it's a pretty safe bet it's not going to be Salter or JuJu. Unless they're really messing with us.
I would have been very surprised, even if he hadn't been on that fair show. So there you go.
It's kind of like not knowing who the quarterback might be for a game on Sunday, and then one of the quarterbacks happens to show up at the podium on a Wednesday at Broncos. It's the same thing, isn't it?
Well, Eric, especially in college, we always ask ourselves the question, who's the guy that gives me the best chance to win?
Yeah.
There really is no other barometer, is there?
Right.
Who gives us the best chance to win? The answer is pretty clear about that right now, subject to change. But I would be surprised if Ryan Staub isn't the guy pretty much through the lion's share of this game, if not all of it.
So Thamel put it out there. Deion Sanders criticized the media and almost specifically him that, the media wants to be first and not necessarily correct. That's not what's important. First is most important. Being correct is secondary. For some media, that is the case.
It is.
I'll be the first to tell you that.
Sure.
Okay. Pete Thamel is a well-respected college football insider. But when Sanders goes on that rant, right, and then Staub shows up on the coach's show that week, which really gives us a huge hint that Staub is going to be the starting quarterback. I'm not saying that.
I know where you're going with this.
I'm not saying there needs to be a public apology on this, but it's just a convenient way to take another shot at the media. For a guy who is as secure as he is with his Hall of Fame resume, which is impressive.
It sure
with what he's done at CU is totally impressive. The money he has brought in, enrollment is up. Businesses are booming in Boulder. He's done so many amazing things. You would think a guy who has so many accomplishments wouldn't be so goddamn insecure.
Well, I mean, Don Quixote had his windmill. I mean, there are various things that hang people up sometimes in life, right? And maybe this is something or other that Deion Sanders, to me, it doesn't seem worth picking fights.
He loves to.
I mean, it doesn't seem worth it to me, but Deion's his own man, and I respect that. I mean, whatever he wants to do, even if I don't necessarily respect or agree with the rant, and I didn't particularly agree with the rant anyway. And as I said earlier this week, he could have let all of that lie. He didn't have to rise. He didn't have to rise to the bait. He actually put the bait on the hook and then rose to the bait. I mean, no one asking for, a battle in the trenches.
Right.
But so it goes.
All right. With that, Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos up in Blackhawk have always have great promotions. Right now, they're giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of October 24th. Daily cash drawings every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily cash entries or daily entries with every locked up jackpot or by redeeming players points with their players cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, great promotions, great food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Sasquatch Casino, a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Full practice yesterday. John Franklin Myers, full practice yesterday, giving hope that they will play on Sunday in Indianapolis. Although, according to reports, did Sean Payton talk? Oh, actually, Sean didn't talk.
He didn't talk yesterday, right?
Alex Singleton reportedly broke his thumb again, didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, was that announced at a podium?
Well, Sean didn't talk, so no one would have announced it.
Okay, because I want to make sure. So I want to make sure that I don't receive the scorn of Sean Payton for being a little podcast guy and reporting something that actually he said. Remember that line?
I do.
Yeah. I don't want to be that guy.
No.
And that's why I said, did you hear of anybody talking about this publicly, or was this just a report?
It was a report.
Okay. With that, he's going to have to play with this probably for the rest of the season now that it's broken again.
Yeah.
Unless they hold him out.
Right.
You think they're
which I don't think is likely with Alex Singleton.
No, I don't think so either. With that, let's talk a little gambling this morning, shall we? Broncos 1.5 point favorites.
Let's go.
1.5 point favorites. Over under is 43.5. So, in a nutshell, if the final score is 24-22, you are a winner with the over.
Bet the under. I will go with the under for the second straight week. Got hit on it last week.
Did you say you hit on it last week?
Well, I mean,
when you say you hit on it last
week,
you're telling me you made mounds of cash.
No,
I bet that was my bet. Did you bet it? No, but I would have.
That didn't happen.
Okay,
that didn't happen. I learned the error of my ways on that long ago. But I would bet the under again if I were a betting man.
Yeah.
I would bet the under again.
Yeah.
And I do like the Broncos on the road. The more I get into it, the more I kind of like the matchup. I don't wish them any ill will, but the Colts are beaten up a little bit on the corners. So their depth is going to be tested in a place where they don't have great depth. They're very good in the interior defensive line.
Yes, they are.
They will do good work right there, and they will challenge the Broncos up front. But I have this thing in the 20-13 kind of range, something like that. Somewhere in that range.
Doesn't this feel like a 20-13 prediction is pretty much, generally speaking, the same prediction that we have been making over the last 8 years?
Yeah. Last week, I can't remember what I said last week. I either said 28-13 or 23-13. I don't remember which one it was. I think I've learned enough to know always be conservative early in the season with offenses.
Right.
I mean, look at the Washington Commanders, last week or this week, last night. By the way, I thought of your dad last night as I was watching the game. I really did. I was like, oh my God, he's a happy man, 2-0 against two teams that won 12 or more games a year ago. But I digress. And they'd beaten the Lions before. The Lions only scored 13 points. We're talking about the Lions. Now they've got a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. There's growing pains there. We understand those types of things, but
no excuse for the Commanders.
No,
they're not dealing with new stuff.
No excuse. In fact, I was thinking about this last night as I'm watching Micah Parsons continuing to pay dividends for the Packers with that trade and the amount of pressures. That dude was in Jalen Daniels' wheelhouse all night long. Only got a half sack, but he had like 9 pressures, I think.
Yeah,
but I was sitting there thinking, what's Vance Joseph thinking about right now? Because they've got the Commanders later on this season on the road in Washington, when the Commanders will be probably a much better team than the one that rolled out last night. But I'll tell you what, Jaden Daniels, he did get a touchdown on one blitz situation, but he had negative plays when he was pressured. I thought it was interesting to watch. And I'm sure that VJ, who's a pressure-happy defensive coordinator, was probably licking his chops.
I'm going to kind of pull this out of nowhere.
Okay.
Because we had talked about for years, should the Broncos have drafted Surtain or Justin Fields? The answer is clearly Pat Surtain.
Yeah. By the way, for the record, I never did, but that's okay.
Oh, neither did I.
I mean, never.
No.
Not and Justin Fields may go on to be an outstanding quarterback in this league. He's off to a great start. More power to him. No way. You would even if you had a chance to make that trade over again, there is absolutely no way you would have made it.
They could have taken Micah Parsons in that draft.
Yes, they could have. You're right. They could have.
Why didn't they?
Well, they ended up with a pretty good player.
I am glad they didn't draft Micah Parsons. I don't think they should have drafted Micah Parsons.
No.
And I think the reason why Micah Parsons slipped is because of all of the stories about him at Penn State in that locker room. A friend of mine who was a longtime NFL player knew somebody who played on that team with Micah Parsons. And the stories are horrifying about this guy. I think teams took him off their board. That's how bad these stories were. Micah Parsons was easily a top 5 most talented player in that draft. He slipped to what, 13? Something like that?
Yeah,
12,
something
13?
like that. Yeah. It was a lot later than I think a lot of us thought. I can't attest to that. I don't have knowledge of that, but I will say this. He's one hellacious football player. His motor is like, wow.
Bruce, he was just as hellacious.
Oh, of course.
If not more.
He was more so. But I mean, he is that way on the world's biggest stage. He is a problem each and every week. That guy is a problem.
Right. With that, let's talk about the Broncos offense. Let's just look at some stats here. We both will agree that stats don't always tell the entire story. When the Broncos rush for 100 or more yards, Bo Nix's record as a starting quarterback is 9-4. His passer rating is 99. When they run for under 100 yards, the record is 2-3. His passer rating is 74 when the team fails to rush for over 100 yards. I mean, did you almost put together a game plan just based on that stat?
Well, I mean, it's easy to find the numbers to support the argument. And the argument is you got to have balance in your attack. This team has to have balance in your attack. Now, by balance, I don't mean 50-50.
Right.
But you've got to be able to have the threat of the run help to create protection for Bo Nix, slow defense down, make them accountable to the run, and which then opens up the pass game on lots of different levels, from play action to wherever you want to go with it. So it's a pretty simple concept to understand. It's how you get there. That's the key. I would be surprised if there wasn't more emphasis on establishing the running game early. But by the same token, Eric, we've seen Sean now into his 3rd year not always be predictable in that regard. When you're sure that you're going to say, okay, well, now we'll see a real dependence and on the run game, and then we don't see it. Look, by his own words, we've got two guys now that we really are excited about, that we've got to get going. I mean, I'm just listening to his words. I'm not even putting my prejudice in there and the importance of a running game, which I've always talked about. But I'll take Sean's words and put them back on him and say, hey, you recognize this, you know this.
Yeah.
You're the guy calling the plays. Let's go.
Right. The way the offense looked in the opener against the Titans, and listening to what Sean had to say, saying, I need to do better. The problem for Sean is like someone who had too many drinks on a Friday night. Before you know it, it's 2:00 in the morning, and you're right around the corner from a fast food place. And you go through the drive-thru, not to suggest you're drinking and driving. You go through the drive-thru, you come home, you had ordered way too much food because you had a few pops in you. I'm like, this looks good, this looks good, this looks good. And then you shove it down in front of a rerun of Happy Days on Nick at Night at 3:00 in the morning. Okay. You jam it all in your gut. And then about an hour later, you're thinking, this was not a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, and so for Sean, it's like he's the guy at 2 a.m. in the Taco Bell drive-thru. It sounds like a good idea at the time to pass. But about an hour later, you're thinking, not a good idea.
Yeah. And if you just listen to him this week, Sunday after the game, Monday in the Zoom call, and Wednesday. So we've heard him 3 times since the game ended. That has been a familiar theme of self-recognition.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, Sean talks about his debriefing that they do every single week. You got to learn from the game before you start in game planning and getting ready for the next game. And I think to a large degree, or some degree approaching large, we're going to find out about how much debriefing Sean really did for himself.
How much do you think Peyton coming out and saying this publicly multiple times had to do with he truly knows he should have called a different game plan? And how much of it do you truly believe has to do with he wants to protect his prized pupil, Bo Nix?
I think it's both, but protecting Bo Nix
from criticism.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've been around Bo Nix now for a while. He's a big boy and can handle himself. I mean, literally.
It's not about him.
Yeah, it's
not about. It's about protecting Bo.
I think it's self-awareness from Sean.
But when you come out and say top 5 quarterback next 2 years,
I know,
and he doesn't look like it, well, I'm not going to put this on Bo. He's still going to be a top 5 quarterback in the next 2 years. I needed to do better for him, which is protecting him. Or is it self-awareness?
I would go towards self-awareness.
Yep.
Bo Nix is starting his 20th game on Sunday. 20 games.
Yep.
So anyone that doesn't think that he's still not a work in progress is, I mean, he's still in the process of maturation relative to being an NFL quarterback. He still has a lot of growth to realize. And he recognized that himself on numerous occasions in the preseason. I haven't proven anything at this point. There's a lot of things I've got to get better at. Okay, we saw that last Sunday. Now, how do you get better at it with 1 week's time?
If for the sake of argument, the offense on Sunday looks like the offense from the previous Sunday, I am not suggesting press the panic button. Not one bit. But let's paint this picture. The panic button's across the room. You're standing on the other side of the room. Do you take a step towards it? I didn't say press it. I didn't say open the box. I said you take a step towards it and say,
No.
Maybe this running game isn't what we thought it would be. Maybe Bo in his second year isn't maybe what we thought it would be. We know what we hoped it would be because that's what expectations do. The higher expectations, the more you tend to have self-doubt when those things don't become realized.
No, I don't think anything relative to panic, even taking a step towards the panic button, is warranted, even regardless of the situation that you just painted. I mean, that creates another challenge of how do we overcome it? You don't have time to panic in this league. You've got the next game coming
I'm not talking about the team. I'm talking about the fans, the media saying, we thought this offense was going to be better.
Inconsequential.
And for 2 weeks in a row, they're not.
Inconsequential. It doesn't matter what the media and the fans think. And I'm part of it. I mean, I get it. It doesn't matter what we think. It matters what they are doing. I know what they think, but it's about what they're doing and what they're doing to get this. Look, nobody.
Do you think they will question what they're doing if they struggle? Do you think there will be any sense of, maybe we might want to think about this differently, kind of like Sean coming out and saying, I need to call more runs, specifically earlier than games?
I think you do that in measures every single day, don't you? Don't you take information in every single day and apply it to what you're doing? And maybe you're not making quantum changes,
right,
but you're making small changes. You're doing different things to try to get to the same goal that you had the week before. So, but I just don't see that. Panic isn't productive in any shape or form.
I think you're taking the word panic way too literally.
Well, I'm talking about even taking a step towards the panic meter.
It's all the way across the room. I didn't say you're
care.
lunging towards it.
I mean, caution. Do we come at it from a different direction? Are there different ways to apply what we're learning and what we're trying to get to? But I mean,
are you suggesting
that's where I'm at?
Are you suggesting that if they look Sunday like they did last Sunday, there is zero doubt they're on the right course? Or do you think to yourself, you know what? It's not as great as we thought it would be. It's not as good as we thought it would be. They really don't look very good. I think that phrase would come out of your mouth. That is a step towards that box. That doesn't mean you're pressing the button.
If they do it in the same fashion, I mean, if you are telling me that they replicate in the same timely chronological fashion as they did last week, I would say that there is probably some caution there and some warning flags. However, if you win the game, you rush for 150 yards, and we've talked about when you did it and how you did it. And I'm with you on that. There are enough signs there that tell you all we have to do is get our crap together to make this work. You don't run for 151 yards by mistake.
Are they a good running team?
Not yet. No.
But you just told me they ran for 151 yards.
You just asked me a question and I gave you a no. You're not going to change my mind. I think that they can be a very good running team. You don't run for 151 yards by mistake. You have to be doing something right, even if it's only in the last 9 minutes of the game. It certainly helped them win the game. Two plays in a 5-play drive swung the game for them offensively. Defense won them this game. Right?
But I'd always be careful. I'd always be careful with, they won the game. Because how many times have you covered a team that walks a tightrope all season, but they won the game?
Well, the Chiefs did all last year.
Right. But then when you finally lose, you start to look at all the problems that happened in the previous weeks and say, this is why we walked that tightrope.
I mean, but that's intimating that you're not doing anything about it in previous weeks. You're constantly doing something about it now. I mean, of course the Broncos Of course, Sean Payton, of course, that coaching staff, and of course, the rank and file take what they have learned from a game and try to improve from it. You do that whether you win or lose every week anyway.
So
even teams that win convincingly are trying to improve in various areas.
So Sean Payton came out and said, upon further reflection, I need to do a better job of calling plays, which is code for we need to run the ball early, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did he just give away his game plan to the Colts? That's next. Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. And don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corned bake. Man, you got to try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Spice up your next night out at Nola Jane and Lodo. Authentic Cajun cuisine like andouille sausage gumbo with dirty rice, crawfish etouffee, as well as 6 different po' boys like soft-shell crab and shrimp. Come in before or after a game at Ball Arena. Host a party or party on their rooftop deck overlooking Market Street during happy hour from 11 a.m. to 5. Plus, Nola Jane caters, delivers, and the kitchen is open late night. Make Nola Jane your new favorite spot to eat, drink, and party like it's Mardi Gras.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch in the DTC. Both locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook is a hangout bar or great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, the DTC, and coming soon to Parker. They are the sports bar.
Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk have another incredible promotion. They'll be giving away a Ford Maverick Tremor truck or over $25,000 in cash the weekend of October 24th. Daily cash drawings are every 45 minutes between 10 a.m. and midnight. Players can earn daily entries with every locked-up jackpot or by redeeming players' points on their players' cards. Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos, loose slots, phenomenal promotions, great food, and a family-owned casino that treats you like family.
Welcome back. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Nola Jane in the heart of Lodo. No one does Cajun cuisine better than Nola Jane. Go see why their award-winning menu is the best in town.
So while Sean Payton never directly came out and said, we're going to run the ball early, he intimated it. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
With that, is it fair to say, and let me finish my thought, is it fair to say that he just basically told the Colts his game plan early on? But is that also the same thing as a team that does run the ball well and you know they're going to run it anyway?
Yeah. I mean, I don't care whether the Indianapolis Colts know they're going to run the ball. It's still a simple numbers game at the point of attack. Do you get hat on hat,
right,
and do you get an extra guy in there to spring a guy in an outside zone or inside zone where they had 2 very good runs on that scoring drive against Tennessee. This isn't an impose your will kind of thing, right? to me it is at any rate, if you have a generally understood to be top 5 or top 3 offensive line in the National Football League, if you do, then put those 5 out there and say, prove it. Get out there and do it. You're the ones that you're the guys that want to run the football to be able to physically pave the way. Right. Well, here's your chance. And it doesn't, and it shouldn't make any difference if the Colts know it or not.
Right.
Line up and do it.
It's like the Packers in the 1960s.
Sure.
You knew Jim Taylor and Paul Hornung, and with Paul Hornung, you could bet on it. But
nice. Well done.
You knew they were doing that power sweep.
Sure.
And no one could stop them.
Right.
You knew it was coming. Let's flip this around. Who's a bigger concern for you when you look at the offensive weapons for the Colts? Is it Jonathan Taylor, or is it the tight end that I think every Broncos fan would have loved on this roster, Tyler Warren?
Tyler Warren for me, because he can do so many different things. Jonathan Taylor is who he is, and he's very good at who he is.
Yeah.
Still a very productive piece in the run game, no question about it. But Tyler Warren gives them an X factor that I think, if you're looking for an apples to apples comparison, that the Broncos are trying to achieve with Evan Engram in a very different way, but you get the idea. That kind of X factor. He can line up from the Wildcat as a fullback. They've done a lot with him already in 1 week. Mm-hmm. So he is a guy that's going to be very interesting to see how he's defended. Is Pat Surtain going to get him a little of the time? Hufanga is a guy that you probably think is going to be on him with his big body and his cover skills. Sternad is another inside linebacker cover guy. He probably is going to be in the starting lineup not probably, he is going to be in the starting lineup again this week. So those are probably the 3 guys that will draw him based on whatever sets that the Colts throw at the Broncos. But he's a very intriguing talent, and a talent that Sean Payton admitted, and why wouldn't he, that they really liked him. And what wasn't there to like about him, right? I mean, right. He's just one of those guys last year at Penn State that jumped off the page.
If you are a Broncos fan, you are probably salivating for the Eagles-Chiefs game because the world champs can turn the Chiefs into 0-2.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, what an opportunity it would be for any team in the AFC West to go. Right now, the Chiefs are in last place. Now, we've played 1 game. I get it.
Thanks.
The other 3 teams have played. And just so everybody is aware, there is history behind it. The New England Patriots won a Super Bowl starting the season 0-2.
Yeah.
But I'd rather have my main rival in theory start 0-2 than 1-1.
And here's the difference. And there's one very key difference. The Patriots were in the AFC East. The Chiefs are in the AFC West.
Great point.
And really, there is a big difference in that.
Yeah.
It's a huge game. I'll get to it in a second. I wanted to point out another one that we need to pay attention to, and it comes up on Monday night. The Raiders are hosting the Chargers. The Raiders.
If my math is correct, barring a tie, one of those teams is going to be 2-0.
Bingo.
And the other one is going to be 1-1.
But who do we?
How's my math there?
Nicely done. You did well. And you only had 2 weeks to work with. That's pretty good.
I crushed it.
Yes. But can you see a scenario where the Raiders going home for the first time after a road win in New England to start the season could give the Chargers a little push? And wouldn't you rather see the Chargers lose one early in the season?
Yeah.
Now, all of a sudden, you go to Indianapolis with a chance to go to 2-0. Look, it's early in the season.
Right.
But it's like Sean Payton said on Monday. You never want to miss an opportunity to gain a foothold.
Right.
And this would be, I think Philadelphia is going to go into Kansas City. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I'm looking forward to it, even though it's going on the same time the Broncos game is going to be going on. But I think Philadelphia is the team to beat in that game. So the AFC West could have a very interesting weekend.
All right, let's move it over to the Buffs game tonight against Houston. It is the Big 12 season opener. Ryan Staub expected to be the starting quarterback. Do you think we're going to see Salter or JuJu at all in this game, barring injury?
No, I don't. I think that this is because I think that this game is going to be tight, and I think that I don't think you want to be, juggling quarterbacks in a tight game. That's my own feeling. It remains to be seen where they fall on it, they being the coaching staff, which means Deion Sanders, obviously, making those decisions. So I expect to see Staub all night tonight.
Even if Staub plays poorly, I think for the betterment of the team moving forward, you don't put in either of those two quarterbacks. You might want to start one of them next week, but let Staub ride it out and go through the ups and downs of this game.
Yeah.
I think that if you put in another quarterback, you have basically told the world you've got nothing.
Yeah. And at this
and it's not a knock on their talent.
No,
or anything
not
like
at all.
that.
Not
you
at
just
all.
have
no.
Your level of uncertainty at that position has just been heightened exponentially if you replace Staub, even if he's playing poorly. And people will be screaming for him to be replaced if he doesn't play well. But the thing is, you want to win the game.
Yeah,
and I get
absolutely.
it. If he's playing poorly, you probably have to pull him. And you put in somebody else. But is it you want to win the game today, so there's the short-term goal.
Mm-hmm.
You should pull him if he's playing poorly. But how does it affect long-term that you've shown we've started two different guys, neither has worked out? What are you going to do, rely on a 17-year-old now?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The thing that I like about Ryan Staub is his understanding of the offense is clear.
Yeah.
He has shown aptitude with his skill set. I mean, he has shown it. We've seen a couple of games now where it's and no, that's not a large sample size. He has surprising athleticism to go with it, I think. I mean, that's how I feel. But I think more than anything, there's a calm about him as a leader, too. I thought that the thing that impressed me the most was, he came in and threw two quick touchdown passes, but he had real calm in that game. Now, look, they were playing against an opponent that they were physically better than in Delaware.
Right.
So you got to be careful about that, right? Houston's going to have athletes,
right?
And they've given up an average of 8 points in 2 games. I mean, they're going to have their hands full with this football team. But I like his comportment. I like the way that he seems to be a leader. He has a calm about him that is encouraging for me. So go get him, Buffs. Go get one on the road, and let's let the dust settle around this program a little bit and see what this thing can develop into in a season where I think a lot of people really aren't expecting that much.
Even though Houston beat Stephen F. Austin, which was a mismatch when Stephen is playing another team, when it's one on whatever the numbers are, you can pretty much predict the outcome.
Right.
And then you have Rice, not known as football powerhouses.
No.
Does this game almost feel like a litmus test to you for Colorado, despite not knowing how good Colorado really is right now?
Yes.
And not really knowing how good Houston is right now?
I hadn't really thought of it in those terms, but I think you're on to something. I think at least in week 3 and the stage for where they are, at least from the outside looking in, the uncertainty with what they're doing in the quarterback room, I do think it's a litmus test. I think.
And excuse me for cutting you off. Georgia Tech, I think, has the potential to be a top 25 team this year.
Yeah.
Cap?
Yeah, they do.
Delaware will not be.
No.
So we know they're better than the worst teams.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned that even though they forced 3 turnovers on the Yellow Jackets' first 3 possessions, Georgia Tech is still a better team.
Yeah.
So it's like you play against really good teams, you're not there. You're against the bad teams, you're going to win those games.
Mm-hmm.
Houston is more middle of the road. That's really the pool that Colorado is probably swimming in. And that's what I mean by, is this a litmus test?
I think it is to a degree, not to say that there won't be bigger ones down the stretch. And you hope that this one propels you to bigger tests down the stretch. This would be a really nice win, especially when you consider that you've got Wyoming coming up.
Right.
If you can get a 1-0 foothold in the Big 12, if you can get to 2-1 with respect to Wyoming, what should be a winnable game for Colorado coming up the next week,
right?
All of a sudden, you're sitting there and you're 3-1.
Yep.
Maybe you've got an idea now what you've got at quarterback.
Right.
And you're 1-0 in Big 12 play.
Yep.
That's not a bad beachhead to get on after the first 4 weeks of the season.
I would agree. That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Thanks for joining us today and all week. Make it the best possible weekend you can.